So we're going to be recording wet riding today. Now there's three different sorts of people. One of the people that I come across is that, yeah, I don't mind riding in the rain, but I don't want to get my bike dirty. Now, it's not about admitting defeat, but it's being able to open yourself up to further learning. We also have the people that hold their hands up and say, you know, I struggle in the rain. Can you help me? So they're the ones that's open to learning. And then we have the ones that are actually competent in the rain, but they would just like to see a different perspective on a professional coach, on what their outlook is on riding in the rain. So, to some of you, it may sound like I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but the whole concept of me doing these YouTube videos are not to pinpoint people's exact requirements, but it's about looking at the broad range of riding in general. So I'm able to come across to people that are new to riding, the people that aren't very confident in riding, and also the experienced riders. So I want to get a good variety of my explanation in the videos that I do. Now, one of the most important features of being able to teach is wet weather riding, and here we are. So when I'm coming up here braking, I'm using 50-50 braking, and then I come off my front brake and just keep my foot on the back brake to come to a stop, nice controlled stop. So just going off the subject of rain for a moment there, we are at a closed junction. Now, what is a closed junction? A closed junction is where we need to stop at the give way to give ourselves a proper view. So when we're approaching the junction, we can't see down the major road that we've just come onto, so we need to stop and have a good look. So treat a closed junction, a junction that we can't see far enough ahead on the new road that we're joining, treat it as a stop sign, as a stop line. So I need to fill it with petrol. So because I need to fill it with petrol, obviously petrol is slippery on the ground, and that is even more so when we come to a petrol forecourt because it's everywhere. So even now I put my foot down and it's still slippery. So that's one thing to consider when we leave the petrol forecourt, to be steady and try to keep our bike upright as possible. So, like I said, because we've just been to a petrol forecourt, there is fuel on my tyres. So, with that in mind, with the fear of knowing that there's fuel on my tyres, naturally it's going to make me nervous, and I'm going to be fearful. So, in that case, what am I going to do? Well, my natural instinct with fear is to stiffen up. I'll stiffen up my body. But drop your shoulders, lift your head up, and relax your body and your arms. Give them a little bit of a shake. So what that does, it just resets our mind and takes us back to the first process, which is our mindset. And obviously the system of motorcycle control comes second. And obviously third is the road and the weather condition. So it's raining quite heavily, the roads are quite flooded. So the one thing that we need to do, the inputs on our bike, it needs to be smooth. And we need to be planning ahead far enough for us to be smooth. So we're able to slow down and increase our reaction time. Now again, I've used that word slow, haven't I? And who wants to go slow on a motorbike? Well, not me. But to make progress, we need to be able to see far enough ahead for us to slow down nice and early. So we're not putting harsh inputs in on the bike. So we're not braking sharply, we're not accelerating sharply, because that is going to compromise our grip on the road. Because more power we put into the rear wheel, the most likely chance is that the wheel is going to skid and spin. So the other element to it, of smoothness, is being smooth with the bike, especially when going around corners. The same principle applies, is we enter the corner slow and we exit it more progressively. So again, this is resurfaced road, where there's lots of loose chippings. So obviously, being in position 2 or position 3 is beneficial for this road because we're going around a left-hand bend. But we've got chippings, so that changes the whole situation and the positioning and the thought process of our riding. So we're staying away from the oncoming vehicles, but I'm also staying in position 1 because that is where the tyres have been. So the road chippings that were once in position 1 have dispersed right into the verge of the road or into the middle. So where do I not want to be right now? I don't want to be in the middle, because that is going to lose my grip even more so. So staying in position 1 at a nice speed, that if I do encounter any cyclists, then I can plan ahead nice and early for that and change my position early enough. Because obviously more I'm in the verge, going around the left-hand bend, I'm restricting my view. But like in this circumstance, it's necessary to keep our grip. But obviously, as I've said before, the less view we've got ahead, the slower we go. The more view we've got ahead, the faster we can go, depending on the circumstances and the junctions and the busyness of the traffic. But I'm just speaking generally. So I'm going to have a cooked breakfast right now, because I'm getting a little bit hungry, and I will catch up with you later. So if you don't find riding in the rain very fun, ask yourself why. Is it the fear? Because don't come out with the saying that, oh, you don't like riding in the rain because it gets your bike dirty. No, that's the most enjoyable bit, isn't it? Cleaning your bike. So if you are struggling in the rain, hold your hands up, because even though I've ridden all year round, there is still that element of fear. So having a greater understanding and slowing the process down gives you a greater understanding. So when we have an understanding, it lowers our fear. And when it lowers our fear, we're able to ride relaxed and in control. So it's all putting things into perspective, isn't it? Going to do a nice tight U-turn here. There we are. Nice tight U-turn. I'm going to park on the gravel on the left, because I have VIP parking. I don't actually, but I don't want my bike to be knocked over by some inconsiderate imbecile. Did I just say that? No, I didn't. You're hearing things. I'll catch you later.